guys, welcome to this episode of Johnny Law Barbecue. I haven't posted a brisket video, so I want to do one now. It's kind of short notice, so I'm not going to be able to marinate it as long as I'd like, but you'll kind of get the idea. First thing I want to talk about is this rub. It's pig ass rub, and it's Memphis style barbecue seasoning. This stuff is just fantastic. This is by far my most favorite rub of all. So I'm going to rub it down with this. It's from a place called www.oldworldspice.com. If you can't find it, I pick it up at my local Bass Pro Shops. Now this bottle is like $10, but it's completely worth it. So let me show you how I just start seasoning it on. Now it's a pretty thick, kind of like a brown sugary Worcestershire sauce kind of smelling rub, but like I said, it's just fantastic. I want to make sure I get all the goodness all the way around. Make sure I get the flat real good, and then keeping this hand clean, I'm going to rub it in. So there is no cross contamination. So now I'm going to flip it over. And with my clean hand, pick up some more of the pig ass rub. And really, I want to really make sure I get this side, actually both sides, but this side especially. I don't trim my briskets. The method I'm going to show you to cook, it's not a competition style brisket. I enjoy eating my brisket when they basically fall apart, and so does my family. If not, I would have trimmed up the brisket, and also the cooking time will vary. But now that I've done this, get this all kind of rubbed in, and you can see this was a brand new bottle, and I've used about that much of it there. So what I'm going to do now is put foil on it, and I'm going to put it back in the refrigerator 2, maybe 3 hours, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you the next part of how I smoke my briskets. I didn't think you needed to see me take them out of the refrigerator and physically put them on the grill. So the key to cooking a good brisket too is putting a little bit of water in a pan. You're smoking meat for a long period of time, so you want to keep the moisture level up as long as you can. And oh yeah, by the way, I'm smoking 2. It's just as much fuel to smoke 1 as it is 2, so I always try to double up whenever I can. So I'm smoking 2 briskets, and there's my water pan. I have it set on the smoke setting, and since I've opened it, it's down to 132, but it usually smokes at about 160 degrees on the Traeger. So now I'm going to go ahead and close it. And we'll see it go up. Okay everybody, it's about time for me to start wrapping my briskets. So I wanted to show you what they look like to this point. Still got plenty of water, and that's what the briskets look like. So they've got good color to them. I'm happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull them out, and I'll show you here's my pan. Like I said, I've already got it prepared for one of the briskets. So I'll pull one brisket out, wrap it, put it on, then I'll pull the other one off. So I'll show you how I wrap it after I'm done. But basically what I've got is a piece of aluminum foil running this way and this way, and I'm using the super strength aluminum foil. Okay guys, here's my briskets wrapped, and at this point in time there's no sense in leaving the water pan in, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that. But like I told you earlier, I only open my pit once when I'm pulling them off to wrap them. So now I'm going to close my pit back after I pull my water pan, and they'll come off at 11 o'clock in the morning. Right now it's about 2:30 in the morning. So I'll show you what they look like after I pull them out and let them cool down and slice into them for the first time. Okay guys, I got both of the briskets out. I have them resting now. I'm going to let them rest for about an hour, and then we'll be good to go. I did temp the briskets before I pulled them out, and they were both, one was it, look at this one. See that juice just pouring out of that brisket? I may have poked a hole all the way through or something. But that's what I want. In the cooking process, all that juice just stayed in that brisket. This one's holding its juice, so that's good. So, but I did temp them, like I was saying. One was at 205, one was at 204. So anywhere between 195 and 205 is where I want to be. So I'm dead on, and looking forward to showing y'all what these look like. Show y'all in an hour. Okay guys, the briskets have rested actually about an hour and a half. So I just unwrapped the first one. This is the one that had the drippings already coming out, but this is what I wanted to show you. I can put my finger all the way through it. So you can see how it is. The next thing is I'm going to go ahead and slice it open and let y'all see the smoke. Now that you've seen how I put my briskets on the pit, fat side up, with some water, in the Traeger it really doesn't matter because it convection cooks where you put the water. If I was cooking on an offset cooker or something, I would put the water closer to the firebox, just because that's where it'll generate a lot more steam to keep moisture in your briskets. And that's what it's all about, trying to keep as much moisture in your briskets as you can. And that's another reason why you put your briskets fat side up. That way when they're cooking, that fat's rendering down into the meat, and that also helps, and it also puts flavor into your briskets. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about cook times. You can cook hot and fast or low and slow. There's no right or there's no wrong answer with that at all. The hotter you cook, obviously the less time it's going to take for their briskets to cook. I prefer to cook my briskets for between 14 and 16 hours. That's just how I was taught, and I just think the flavor is great. And but that's not competition briskets. Competition briskets, you have to be able to slice them, and they need to pull apart and things like that. How I enjoy mine for me and my family is they just basically fall apart. They're just shred apart. You can put your finger straight through the brisket. So there is some differences. I know some people will cook their briskets at like 275 degrees for like 6 to 8 hours. Again, that's just going to be something that you're going to have to play with yourself. Now, another thing I want to kind of talk about is smoke penetration. After a certain amount of time, the brisket is just not going to take any more smoke. So when you just got to kind of play around with it and know when. On the Traeger, I usually let it go about between 8.5 and 9 hours on just straight smoke, which is about 160 degrees. And then I'll take my briskets off, in this case briskets because I'm smoking too, and I'll wrap them up really, really good. I mean, super tight. I'll double wrap them and then put them back on the pit. The main thing is to make sure that you maintain that fat side up. You maintain that fat side up, that'll still, while the brisket's finishing cooking off, that fat will just go straight into the meat. So, and I've made the mistake, and hey, barbecuing's all about learning from your mistakes. There's no bad mistake unless you don't learn from it. So I always have the foil laid out, like my bottom pieces. I pull one brisket out, put it in the pan with the foil already in it, and then I wrap it from the top. That's how I maintain keeping my fat side up. Whatever method you use, it has to be done one way, or one way is better than the other. Some people actually wrap their briskets in paper, butcher paper, and some people don't wrap them at all. And you can still do them on the long smokes without wrapping them. I just prefer to wrap them. Like I said, there's no really set way of any of that. It's just what you feel comfortable with and what you're doing with it. This is just what I'm showing you here is one of my brisket recipes. The seasoning is the only difference in how I'm cooking this one. I really like that pig ass rub. I know it's a weird name for a rub, but if you can, then check it out. It's fantastic on ribs. The next set of ribs I'm going to do, the next 3 racks I do, I'm going to show you my rib recipe. And this is the only rib recipe that my wife will allow me to do. She loves these ribs that much, so I don't mess with my rib recipe at all. So, but just to kind of conclude, I just want to make sure everybody knows there's no set way of doing any of this. Your cook times can vary on how fast you want to cook them. I know being here in Texas, Lockhart's supposed to be the barbecue capital of Texas. There's a, and I may be pronouncing this wrong, Fruits or Kruts. Supposedly they cook hot and fast, and I think they run their temperature at about 400 degrees, 350 to 400, somewhere around in there, and cook them real quick. And that's what their daddy told them, and that's how they cook them, and that works for them. I'm just not a hot and fast guy. And another thing that I cannot stress enough, no matter what you're cooking, unless it's a steak where you're having to check it and turn it, quarter turn it and stuff, if you're looking, you're not cooking, because the second you open the pit, your pit loses temperature, and it takes time for it to rebuild that temperature. Like right now, for 9 hours, it's 7 o'clock. Till 3 o'clock in the morning, I will not open my pit. So that's just how I do it. All I got to do is make sure that the pellet hopper stays full. As long as that thing's full, I'm good to go. So I'll show you what the briskets look like right when I take them off to wrap them. And I hope you're finding this tutorial informative. And guys, if y'all have any suggestions, just let me know. leave your questions down below, or if you want to say something I missed, let me know too. Like I said, my channel is all about learning, and hey, I'll share what I know, and if somebody's got a better way of doing it, then hey, let me know so I could be doing it better. Okay guys, so there's the brisket, and as you see, there's the smoke ring, and you can see right there to the side how it kind of shreds up. But I tell you what, I'm really going to enjoy eating this brisket. So this is Johnny Law signing out for this episode of Johnny Law Barbecue. The next set of videos is probably going to be my son doing some videos on vaping. So look forward to those probably within the next few days. And with that, I'm going to say bye-bye.